At the clinic, Ben, who is an eye doctor, meets with a patient. They chat a bit about their families. Meanwhile, Ben's wife, Hannah, is out enjoying a meal with her friends. As they leave the restaurant, one of the women takes some pictures of the group. Later that afternoon, Hannah is in the backyard taking more photos when she hears the doorbell. It's a group of kids asking if her daughter Sam can come play. At first, Hannah says it's too late to go out, but she changes her mind. She goes upstairs and knocks on Sam's door. Sam answers with a bad attitude and quickly runs downstairs to join her friends. Ben comes home later and greets Hannah, telling her that even after looking into many eyes today, his day only begins when he sees hers. Their moment is cut short when Sam walks in with a grumpy attitude, then goes upstairs, saying she needs to do homework instead of helping with dinner. After they eat, Sam asks if she can stay over at her friend Taylor's house. Hannah reminds her she still needs to pack for their upcoming trip. Ben says it's fine, as long as Sam promises to finish packing soon. They haven't had a quiet evening alone in a while. The next morning, Hannah drops Sam off at Taylor's house and asks for a goodbye kiss. Sam complains that she's not a little kid anymore, but gives her mom a quick kiss on the cheek. When Hannah gets home, she finds Ben cooking dinner. He shows her a cozy, romantic setup in the living room. After eating, they slow dance and talk about a happy memory. Hannah asks what he sees when he looks at her. Ben holds up a candle holder and says she's the first and last woman he'll ever love. Then they head upstairs together. The following day, Ben waves goodbye as Hannah and Sam leave for their trip. On the way, they stop at a gas station, and Hannah takes a few pictures of Sam. Annoyed, Sam tells her to stop and says she hates being photographed. She even makes fun of her mom's love for photography. As they drive, Hannah asks why Sam treats her differently than she treats her dad. Sam says it's because he treats her more like a grown-up. Hannah explains that someone has to be the strict one, and that everything she does comes from love. While they're talking, Hannah doesn't notice a truck coming. Their SUV crashes and rolls down a snowy hill into a ditch. Later, Ben arrives at the hospital and finds his wife and daughter lying in beds next to each other, both on breathing machines. He notices Hannah's eyes begin to open and quickly calls for the doctor. The doctor removes her breathing tube, and Hannah, still confused, asks what happened. Ben gently tells her they were in a car accident. She then asks about Sam, and Ben points to the bed beside her. Suddenly, Sam's heart monitor goes flat. Doctors and nurses rush in. Hannah tells Ben to help her hold Sam's hand. He does, but a doctor has to separate them so they can use the defibrillator. Then, shockingly, Hannah's heart also stops. The medical team prepares to treat her too, while Ben stands by, helpless, watching them try to save both his wife and daughter. Later, it seems both have died, until a nurse notices Sam's hand twitch. She calls out, and the doctor finds a faint pulse. They quickly move Sam to the ICU. Outside in the parking lot, Ben breaks down, believing he lost them both. But soon after, he visits Sam in her hospital room. She notices her voice sounds strange, but Ben tells her she sounds just like herself. Then, with tears in his eyes, he gently tells her the painful truth. Her mother didn't survive. Sam is confused and asks how any of this can be real. She believes her mom is in Boston. Ben tells her she's in the hospital. He keeps calling her Sam, so she asks for a mirror. When she looks, she bursts into tears, saying that the reflection isn't her. She says she's Hannah. Panicked, she jumps out of bed and runs into the hallway, shouting for Sam. Nurses catch her and hold her down so they can calm her with medicine. Later, the doctor tells Ben that the CAT scan was normal, no signs of brain injury. When Ben asks why his daughter thinks she's Hannah, the doctor suggests it might be a short-term mental issue. Soon, Ben brings Sam home from the hospital. At home, she cries while describing their first date in perfect detail. Ben asks if Hannah had told her that story, but she insists she is Hannah and has no idea where their daughter is. That night, she has a nightmare and calls out for her dad. The next morning, she looks at herself in the mirror and is shocked to see the name Justin tattooed on her lower back. At breakfast, Ben tells her she called out for her father in her sleep. She wonders if that means Sam is still inside her body somehow. Ben doesn't believe it, so she tells him about the mole on his thigh and how he likes it when she rubs his back until he falls asleep. Still unsure, Ben says maybe her mother told her those things. Frustrated, Hannah walks into the living room and picks up the candelabra, reminding Ben of their romantic night and what he told her then. Ben tells her to stop talking nonsense, but Hannah says she's scared about how to explain this to her family. Ben says they should keep everything quiet until they understand what's really going on. At the cemetery, they attend Hannah's funeral. Later, Hannah sits with Sam's friends on the porch. One of them offers her something to smoke. Ian then makes a cruel comment, saying Sam finally got what she wanted, her mother gone. Hurt, Hannah goes back inside. The others tell her they're there for her if she ever needs support. In Sam's bedroom, Hannah tells Ben that she found out Sam has been making some bad choices and has a tattoo of someone named Justin on her lower back. She also says that Sam told her friend she wished her mom was dead, something Hannah says she never would have said as a teenager. Ben agrees, saying Hannah would never say something like that. Surprised, Hannah asks if he finally believes she's his wife inside Sam's body. He says he does. The next day, Ben goes to the library to research spiritual possession. Later, he meets with Dr. Christopher Bray, who tells him about a strange case in an African village. A woman recovered from a serious illness and claimed she was a girl who lived far away. She even knew private details about the girl's life, though they had never met. Later, Ben tells Hannah he still believes there's a medical reason behind what she's going through. He suggests she continue living as Sam for now, until their daughter comes back. The next day, Ben drives Hannah to school. She feels overwhelmed by how much things have changed since she was a teen. In the hallway, Sam's friends greet her, and she asks where her locker is. Before class, a boy named Ethan tells her he misses her and kisses her. He says others might miss her too, but no one more than him. Suddenly, a guy named Justin pulls her into the stairwell. He points to the tattoo of his name on her back and says it's there to remind other boys that she belongs to him. Shocked, Hannah yells that she's married. Justin thinks she's just acting out some role play, but Hannah shoves him away and tells him to leave her alone. Right after, she calls Ben and says she found out Sam may be involved with more than one boy. She says she can't handle pretending to be Sam at school. Ben offers to come get her, but after calming down, she decides to stay. Worried, Ben calls the school's guidance counselor, Tara Corbett, and asks her to check in. A few minutes later, Tara finds Hannah and tells her she's available to talk anytime. Then, Hannah opens her locker and is surprised to find that Sam used her own birthday as the combination. Inside, she discovers her daughter's diary. That evening, Ben calls Tara to thank her for checking on his daughter. Meanwhile, at home, Hannah walks in while Ben is changing. He quickly hides in the closet, but she tells him there's no need. She's his wife. Ben gently reminds her that things aren't that simple anymore. Hurt, Hannah says she has homework and goes back to Sam's room. Later, she reads Sam's diary and finds out her daughter is still upset about moving from Boston to the small town. The next day at school, Hannah's English teacher talks to her, thinking she's Sam, and reminds her to keep her grades up if she wants to get into an Ivy League college. As Hannah leaves, the teacher notes that her handwriting has changed. Hannah replies that she thought her old handwriting looked too childish. That night, at a restaurant, Hannah reaches for Ben's hand and holds it to her cheek. He asks her to stop, saying people are staring. She tells him there's a party this weekend, and she plans to go because that's what Sam would do. When their drinks arrive, she grabs his alcoholic one and says she needs it more. Later that night, Ben watches her sleep and softly whispers Sam's name. Suddenly, Sam calls out for her father and reaches for his hand. A few days later, Tara visits the clinic for an eye exam. During the appointment, Hannah walks in and feels jealous, seeing how close Ben and Tara are during the checkup. At the supermarket, Hannah tells Ben she felt betrayed after seeing how he acted around Tara. Ben says nothing happened. He's still a married man. When Hannah asks if he can be with his wife again, he says he can't because her body was buried weeks ago. That night, Hannah puts on a revealing nightgown and tells Ben she's now every man's fantasy, a grown woman in a young body. Both of them have been drinking, and they end up slow dancing in the living room. On the night of the party, Ben drops Hannah off at a friend's house. She tells him not to pick her up. She'll find her own way home. Inside, her friends pressure her into drinking. While she and Ethan are about to kiss, Justin suddenly grabs her hand and pulls her upstairs to talk. He apologizes for what happened at school and says he wishes things could go back to the way they were. Hannah firmly tells him their relationship is over and walks away. Later that night, she returns home. Ben asks if she did more than drink and dance. Frustrated, Hannah says he never questioned Sam like this before. Ben reminds her that she was always the strict one. Hannah says they never really understood who Sam was, and now believes that living her daughter's life might be the only way to bring her back. But then she realizes Ben wants her to live as Sam, just by his rules. She tells him he has no idea how hard it is to be in a teenager's body full of hormones, while being in love with someone she can't be with. Angry, Ben says he knows exactly how that feels. Upset, Hannah storms upstairs to Sam's room and writes in her daughter's diary. The next day, Ben visits Hannah's grave. He says he doesn't know where Sam is anymore and feels lost. At school, Danielle welcomes Hannah to the yearbook club and encourages her to take photos of the other students. Later, Hannah tells Ben she's thinking about applying to an Ivy League college, something Sam once wanted. She says it feels like a second chance, especially since she never went to college herself. Instead, she supported Ben while he finished school and then focused on raising their family. When Ben asks if she regrets any of it, she says no, but adds they should seriously think about what comes next, especially with everything they're going through. Over the next few days, Hannah reconnects with her love for photography, snapping pictures of Sam's friends and other students around school. One night, Ben quietly listens as Hannah talks to Danielle on the phone. Danielle praises her talent and encourages her to keep taking photos. The next day, Ben meets Ethan at school and asks if Sam ever got into any trouble. Ethan admits she did, but stopped after the accident. Ethan tells Ben he loves Sam and would never let anything bad happen to her. Ben snaps, saying Ethan doesn't know what love really is. At home, Ben accuses Hannah of enjoying Sam's life too much and not trying to get their daughter back. He says he feels stuck and can't move on while she's still around. Hannah, hurt, asks what will happen to her soul when Sam returns. She locks herself in a room. When Ben breaks in, she's gone. That night, Hannah is at a party with teens. Ben searches town and hears she might be on Bulkley Street. At the house, the teens pressure Hannah to try something risky. Ben arrives and starts searching. Just as he's about to open a door, he hesitates. Inside, Hannah sees a vision of her dead body on the ceiling and starts screaming. Ben hears her and runs in. Ben finds out Hannah is having a bad reaction and carries her home in anger. The next morning, Sam wakes up in her body, confused. She doesn't remember anything, so Ben gently tells her that her mother is gone. Shocked, she searches the house, then faints outside. When she wakes up, Hannah is back and says she felt Sam return. Later, Ben reads in Sam's diary how much she appreciates her mom. Hannah says she can feel Sam getting closer to fully returning. The next day, she records a goodbye video for her daughter. That night, Ben and Hannah share one last moment together and say their final "I love yous." The next morning, he gives Sam the video. In it, Hannah encourages her to be happy and take care of her dad. Later, they visit Hannah's grave. At school, a friend notices Sam's handwriting has changed. Sam says it's like her mom's, and that her mom is still with her.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and stay connected with us.